Africa continues to deal with several challenges necessitated by poor leadership, the COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine crisis, rising death profile, and the impact of insecurity on the continent. It has therefore become imperative for African countries to find an access out of this conundrum that threatens to keep the continent prostrate despite its huge resources and investment potential. For these reasons, institutions such as Afreximbank was launched in 1993 in Abuja, Nigeria. "30 years after, the continent's top business minds, government functionaries and policymakers, past and present leaders, arrive in Accra, Ghana to grace the occasion."
First, I would like to thank the government of Ghana for its great hospitality.
The tasks before the speakers are marked out. How does the continent harness its trade and investment portfolio in order to grow its economy?
If you look at the treaty documents that establish the Organization of African Unity, they clearly set out an objective, and that objective is that we must have economic integration in Africa, and that we must introduce tools to advance that objective of economic integration in Africa.
Turbocharging the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is a veritable tool to deliver on some of the aspirations of the continent. There are, however, some hurdles to scale.
Luckily, I'm no longer an official minister, so I think I can speak a bit freely without getting into trouble. I think the major problem that we have had is the individual interest that we have been projecting for our country.
I cannot imagine that right now we are importing $50 billion per year food from outside the continent, while we have 60% arable land in Africa.
This is an unexpected treat for me because I wasn't...
As far as the president of the Dangote Group is concerned, Africa countries must allow for free movement in order to promote trade and investment opportunities.
See, if I now have to get a visa to get into country A as an African, and now we go with a British guy who, or maybe a Nigerian, it has happened to me, a Nigerian holding British passport, he was allowed in, and we're arguing, debating about my visa, and I'm the one, and I'm the one with the money.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
So I think what maybe African countries they need to do is that why don't you give Africans visa on arrival? That will facilitate trade.
Yes.
If you are making life difficult for me, there's no way I'll go and invest.
Yes.
In the next couple of days, great minds will on this land attempt to churn out ideas that they believe the continent requires to salvage its dwindling fortune. From Accra, Ghana, Chris Alems, Channels Television News.